Hi, dear people. This is KP, and you're listening to Parts and Charts' first ever horoscope. I want to talk about Cancer season. So, for beginning tonight, or if you're listening to this, it's Friday, June 20th, where the sun, the astrological sun, is moving into the sign of Cancer, which is our fourth sign in the zodiac wheel. Right after Gemini. And when I think about Cancer, the themes of Cancer season, or in general, just what the zodiac sign of Cancer's energetics are, a lot of things come up. But I was thinking about the phenomenon when there's a baby in the room or a baby in someone's life. There's this inevitable perspective shift, or a willingness to get down on one's knees or on the ground, or to lift the baby up in the air and look up at the baby. And it's interesting to me connecting that to the idea of Cancer being the sign of nurturance, because what happens when there's people of different ages around us in different parts of the life cycle is we take more time to think about what would be supportive or nurturing or interesting or entertaining for people who are in very different states of their life, right? So in Cancer season, one of my personal practices is to look at the parts of myself that maybe need me to bend down a little bit or to look up a little bit, and they're just outside of my regular adult life perspective. So translating this to the person who's listening, what's a part of yourself that maybe isn't always expressed unless there's an older person in the room or a baby in the room or a dog in the room? What parts of yourself come to life when someone in a different part of their life cycle is around? And get curious about that. How can you nurture that? How can you entertain that part? Thinking about the baby talk that seems like instinctual, the trying to get a baby to laugh, or trying to lean into someone who may be in their 90s, and listen more closely because maybe their voice is quieter, or maybe they talk in a way that commands the room but they speak slowly with more certainty. Whatever it may be, those parts in you, I think, are more likely to come up and want to be experienced in Cancer season. Cancer as the sign of all of us eat, all of us sleep under a safe roof. Thinking about how the energy of Cancer is compassionate. It's about protection, taking care of our land, our homes, our hearts, our people. And thinking about that term, our people, and how you can show up as an individual for your people or your parts. Okay, so that's some general Cancer contemplations, but I also wanted to mention that one of our more further away planets, Uranus, will be making a move, which is pretty significant because Uranus, he takes about, I think it's 7 years, about give or take a few months, 7 years in each sign. So he's been in the sign of Taurus since, I have the date, May 2018, and he'll be moving into Gemini, July 7th, 2025. So there's a lot I don't think I want to spend too much time on what Uranus will be doing in our lives. You can look at the Substack post for a more personalized horoscope for that. That'll be written. So go to the Substack and read how it may affect your life specifically. What I'd like to mention is that what we can do right now is anticipate a big shift. It feels like we've been going through many, many, many big shifts lately, which is true. In this year, in the past 5 years, for sure, there's been a lot of shifts. And maybe we're already practiced in this, but what I'm seeing is there's an inevitable big shift starting in July 7th. Right now, we need to make space. You can't anticipate what will be shifting with Uranus energy. You can do a little bit of anticipation in that you know that maybe the way you fill up your schedule, like for the week or the weekend, might be too stuffed, and you may need some space. Thinking about time space, thinking about heart space, thinking about deep cleaning one's home. That is usually like a really incredible way to make space for something else that's coming in. That is something that we can do when we're anticipating this big shift. So think about how maybe there's a little bit too much of X, Y, and Z in a part of your life. This could be a really good week, couple of weeks to spring cleaning, although it's summer now, it's officially summer. So that you allow your nervous system, your body, your mind, your heart, a little more wiggle room to adjust and respond to what's about to change. Okay, so that's the general horoscope for everyone. For more detailed horoscopes, go to our Substack, the Parts and Charts Substack. You'll find, if you're listening to this through Instagram, you find a link in the bio. Otherwise, if you're listening through Substack, you'll see this in the same post. So take a look. We do it by rising signs. If you don't know your rising sign, that's fine. You can look up your rising sign by typing into a birth chart calculator, your birth time and date, that kind of information, or you can read them for your sun sign. It's really up to you, but I do prefer giving horoscopes for the rising signs because I usually talk about parts of our life versus like relationships. That may not be necessarily true, but it's by how the planets are moving through your chart, and that does really have a lot to do with what area of your life is being lit up or adjusted. Okay, have a very wonderful Cancer season, and I hope you get down and see someone else's perspective and how that may inform or light up your own system. Okay, have a good day. Bye.